What's up, internet? Welcome to Mo's Garage, and as you can see right here, I'm not in my normal garage, and that's because right now I'm actually in the process of moving. So as you can see here, everything's just kind of a mess. Everything is everywhere. Everything's disorganized and out of place, which is pretty common when you are moving. So instead of turning some wrenches on today's video, I am just going to be introducing you guys to a new vehicle. Now, unlike the other vehicles on the channel, this is going to be our very first project car, and I am super excited because if you've been around the channel, you'll know that the Xterra is pretty much the face of the channel. But if you've been here even longer than that, you'll know that the Xterra is actually not my vehicle, it's actually my wife's. So for today's video, I'm going to be introducing you guys to my very own car and the channel's very first project car. So with all that out of the way, let's jump right into the video. So this right here is my 1988 Ford Mustang in the LX trim with a 5.0 motor, and this thing is super cool because I've had this thing since 1997. I mean, not really. I was 5 at the time, but it was in my family since 1997, and I picked it up around 2005 when I was 13, and slowly over time I happened to work on it and get this thing up and running. Today this thing runs and drives, but I keep it off the streets. It's pretty much just parked, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that this thing is damaged. I'm not sure if you guys can see this right here on the door and the quarter panel right here. I just happened to wake up one morning and it was damaged, so I don't really know what happened, but let's go ahead and take a walk around of the car so I can show you guys what I've done, what needs to be done, and some future projects. So starting off in the front, as you can see right here, this corner is a little damaged, and that's because I was driving one day and this lady happened to cut me off. I swerved, but I still hit her here on the corner, and that never got fixed. Here we have these chrome ponies, which are not original to the car, but they do belong on this car in a way. Now, as I mentioned previously, right here on the door and on the quarter panel, I just happened to wake up one day and these were damaged. So that's pretty much the reason why this car sits in the garage to this day, because I want to fix this thing up, make it look nice and preserve it rather than risk it getting damaged out on the street. Over here in the back, we have the bullet wheels. Now, the reason we have chrome ponies up front and then these bullets in the back is because this car has actually been IRS swapped. So if we come down here, you can kind of see the control arm, and you don't really see the standard solid axle. As you can see right here, we have some nice Bilstein shocks. But yeah, this thing has already been slightly modified. I do have some videos on this, so I will do my best to put something together and post it for you guys. But for the most, I started working on this before I had my YouTube channel, so I don't know if I have all the footage available, but I will put together whatever I have. Now, if we come around the back, this thing is pretty nice. This taillight right here on the passenger side is coming apart. I think I need to reseal this with some butyl tape and maybe some new clips. On this side of the car, everything seems pretty nice, pretty good, except right here for this mirror right here, it's broken, so it probably needs to be replaced. Right here you can see the front panel trim and the cowl hood is missing. I do have those pieces. I was just trying to clean up this inside part before it starts to rot away. Now, coming over here to the motor, as you can see right here, I do have some Ford Racing plug wires. That's not really a mod, but right here we do have this knockoff BBK cold air intake. The reason I put this on here is because the original factory air intake had holes right here, so it was pretty much bypassing the filter. And if you know anything about cars, you know that's not a good thing to do. I do have a 3G 200 amp alternator. I had that done back in the day when I was in high school. Same thing with this radiator. I have a 3-core aluminum radiator from Mishimoto with the 2 electric fans. I also did that back in high school when I was trying to keep this thing up and running. Not sure how well you guys can see right here, but I do have some BBK equal length headers. Other than that, this thing is pretty much stock. So I think once I start working on this again, I am probably going to get a factory replacement air intake, and I'm probably going to have this somewhat stock. I think I need to rebuild the motor. I'm not 100% sure. This thing is puking out every single liquid known to man, power steering fluid, coolant, oil, the whole shebang. It's just leaking out. So I'm not sure if I need to rebuild this motor or if I can get away with just resealing it. But when the time comes to redo this motor, I am most likely going to leave it a pushrod motor. I'm not going to switch to a coyote swap. I may do the heads cam intake mod, but I'm not going to be doing a coyote swap or anything crazy like that. I do want to keep this somewhat original. And the reason why I want to do that is because this is a 1988 model car from California with the mass air and the T-tops. So as far as collectible cars go, this thing is one of those items that might be worth something in the future. Personally, I don't think I'm ever going to sell this car since I've had it since I was about 4 or 5, but I do want to get this thing running right and looking good. Now coming into the interior, as you can see right here, we do have some pieces missing, and I do have most of the pieces, but when we come right here to the steering column, you can see somebody tried to steal this one day. Man, this was such a lucky miss because my wife and I were actually at the gym, but we only stayed for about 5 or 10 minutes, and by the time we came out 5 or 10 minutes later, this thing was pretty much getting ready to be stolen. So thankfully I still have it. I don't know what spooked the thief because I didn't see anybody once I came out, but I am super thankful that I still have this car. Funny enough, this thing actually was stolen back in 1999 or the year 2000, I can't remember. But I don't know too many of the details there. But yeah, this is basically a blue exterior with a blue interior, and it's not too bad. It definitely could use some cleaning. The carpet could probably be replaced. The center console right here, I pretty much have all these interior pieces, so it shouldn't be too bad to restore. I've seen a lot of Fox bodies on Marketplace, and almost all of them are clapped out, worse than this car. As you can see right here, I am missing the map light. I do need to install that. I added this wire down here just so that way we wouldn't cause any kind of sparks or anything like that. These sun visors and the headliner need to be replaced because these are aftermarket from LMR, but I got the cloth ones, and as you can see right here, they're super faded. The ones that came from the factory were actually vinyl, so I do plan to get those back to vinyl. Now up front right here, you can see I do have these 3-piece headlights, but they're aftermarket, and honestly, I hate these things. I only bought these back in the day because this is all I could afford. The OEM style ones were super expensive. I am probably going to be replacing those with the OEM style or something similar. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There aren't too many mods on this thing. This thing is pretty much original. And like I said, I've had this thing basically since 1997, so I know a lot of the history of this car. A lot of these things are just minor fixes. The only thing I'm really concerned about are the motor and transmission. It does run and drive pretty nice, but it is puking out a lot of fluid, so I do need to address that. Now, as far as the mileage of this car, as many of you guys may know, the odometers on these things only go up to the 10,000s. But thanks to a Carfax report that I ran on this thing has rolled over 3 times. So we are essentially sitting right now at 305,000 miles. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing considering it runs pretty smooth, but I guess we'll find out once I start working on the engine and transmission. Now, before I forget, I did also upgrade the front suspension on the Fox body. As you can see right here, we have some blue H&R springs. I have some Tokiko blue shocks, and then I have the Ebach red sway bar, and then over here I do have the maximum full-length subframe connectors. So originally I did have a full suspension on this thing, and then some minor upgrades over here like the headers and the cooling, but other than that, this thing is pretty much stock, and I think I'm going to keep it somewhat similar, except I am going to upgrade the front suspension to match the rear with the IRS. I have red H&R race springs and Bilstein shocks, so I'm going to take apart the front suspensions and make it so that it matches the rear suspension. So yeah guys, this is my 1988 Ford Mustang, and I'm super happy to have shared it with you guys today. I have been taking care of it since 2005 when I was around 13 years old, but now that I'm an adult, I do plan on picking up where I left off and upgrading this and restoring it better than I ever could. Now, as far as future videos go, I don't think I'm going to be showing you guys how-tos necessarily, because with these cars being so old, you just never know how people have hacked them up before in the past. But I do kind of plan on making them like DIY vlog style, something along those lines. And I do plan on restoring it and upgrading it to OEM Plus standards. I'm not 100% sure what that means right now, but if you guys have any suggestions or you guys have any ideas on what I should do with this car, please let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear them. So with all that out of the way, thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.